Hello, and welcome to a live installment of I Am Not the Martial Arts Instructor for You, or I'm Not the Instructor for You. As per the title, if you want to just go away and you don't think you need to stick around for your child's martial arts class, then I'm not the instructor for you. I want there to be at least one parent around the class at all times per child. You don't necessarily have to be right in there, although I actually prefer that. And when I taught in the southern region of PG County, I'm still technically in the southern region, but just not the south, there were plenty of chairs set up on the side. I set up all the chairs so that all the parents could watch. And eventually, some wouldn't watch, but a lot did. If they didn't want to watch, they wait outside. But I want you to stay and watch your child's martial arts class for two main reasons. Number one, you get to see exactly the kind of progress that your child is making, along with getting to see exactly what's going on in class. So you know yourself if your child is ready or not for testing for the most part. It really helps cut down on the, well, I think my child has been here for so long, I think they should be able to go for XYZ rank. Well, when you see yourself that your child can't remember how to do XYZ requirements, parents tend not to push for the rank. Most parents would rather their child be underranked than overranked. So, plus you get a feel for what exactly your child's learning, and if you feel uncomfortable with it, you can say something. Now, I know it is a martial art, but sometimes some parents don't really know what the art entails. Like, I had one lady, I told her, this was a couple years ago, yeah, I do Taekwondo and Judo. Well, what does that mean? And I explained it to her and I said it. But then when she saw it, then she was like, wait a minute, I don't like that throwing thing. But once I explained it to her and again, and showed her that her son knew how to fall for the throwing thing, then she was okay with it. But had she had really known what Judo entailed, conceptually, not just, oh yeah, Judo, nice thing, a type of karate, she may not have put her child in there and it wouldn't have been a fit for her. So, the second reason, I'll say it like this. If you've ever been into a YouTube channel called Study Patterns, it's both ran together as one word. Study Patterns together as one word. Go watch that channel and go ahead and type in the following Google terms. Karate, guilty, just like it says on that channel, or martial arts, guilty. Sometimes just type in martial arts instructor. And about 6 entries down, you'll see why. We need all eyes on this problem, okay? I know that I'm not going to do anything like that, but it's not about me. I also know that I may not be your child's instructor forever because things change. Feelings change. People change. People change. That's a song, right? But things change. You know, I could get a new job. I'm getting old. I could get injured. I could just not want to do it anymore. You could just not want to be bothered with me anymore. The center could drop the class. The center could add a bunch of classes. The center could cut the class size. You know, you just may want to take your child someplace else. I want you to be in the habit of being there and just looking. It's not like you have to stand and look like this over the instructor's shoulder. But just be there. Be a second pair of eyes. Or a third. Or a 10th. So that we can keep the predators away. Now, there are some instructors who don't want you to watch their classes. And believe it or not, at one time, I didn't understand it, but now I do. Wholeheartedly. Because some parents can be a distraction. They'll try to coach the class. They'll put unnecessary pressure on the child instead of just being supportive. They'll be rolling their eyes and getting frustrated with their child when it's just a child. If it's a teenager, they feel like the teenager's not tough enough, they'll be signaling for me to hit the child harder in the chest if I'm sparring with the child or whoever's sparring with the child. You know, they may want the child to come in there and get beat up because the child has an ego problem, and they will non-verbally tell me that'll be like behind the child's back. So no, we don't need that. But again, we do need as many eyes and ears out as possible to keep away the predators. Okay? Now, I'm not saying this to put down people who don't want you to watch their class. No. And like I said, I understand why they don't want you to watch their class. But I feel like the more the merrier, the more predator protection, the merrier. The more people we have fighting against the predators, the more sheepdogs, the more rams we have to fight against the wolves, the better our flock will be. And I know, especially where I teach, there's security cameras all over the place. I just don't think security cameras can capture anything. I mean, they're machines, they could be malfunctioning one day. So we need to work together and be in this. So, that's all for this installment of I'm Not the Instructor for You. Again, if you just want to drop your child off because you want to have a babysitter there so that you can go and then come back and pick the child up after class, I don't really go for that. Even if you do, and you might be able to get away with it technically at the community center, that's not something I prefer that you do. So where I'm at right now, that's not going to be an issue because it's too late at night for people to do that. But when I go back to teaching on Saturdays, just remember, Mr. Cecil, Mr. Washington, Sensei Cecil, Salvum Washington, whatever you want to call me. Hey, you bald man. Not for students, people who want students. If you just want to drop your child off, so this is mainly for parents, then, and not watch or not be around, then I am not the instructor for you. Peace.